Interesting small world. Sometime in the 18th century, there lived a man named Bhojraj Sagar in the Indian state of Punjab. So, what's the big deal? We'll come back and explain. In the meantime, here's another story. This part is imaginary. The year was 2017. Two men in their mid-80s, a gentleman called CKM and another called BS, find themselves sitting next to each other watching GOO, Grand Ole Opry, at Nashville, US. They are strangers, but soon start talking with each other in appreciation of the music. The last number on the program, Rock Island Line. CKM, that one is a skiffle. BS, what is a skiffle? CKM, where the singer is sometimes talking and sometimes singing, and the beat picks up gradually, and usually there is some sort of a storyline. BS was beat by the playmates of skiffle. CKM, yes, that's right. They are enjoying the skiffle song, sung and enacted by the singer. It goes something like this. Now this is a story about the Rock Island Line. Now the Rock Island Line, she runs down to New Orleans. And just outside New Orleans, there's a big toll gate. And all the trains running up to the toll gate, why, they gotta pay the man some money. But of course, if you got certain things on board, you're okay, man. You don't have to pay the man nothing. And right now we see a train coming down the line. And when the driver, he nears the toll gate, he shouts to the man, he says, I got horses, I got cows, I got sheep, I got a whole livestock, I got a whole livestock, I got a whole livestock. And you can hear the man say, you all right, boy, you just get through the door and you don't pay me nothing. And so the train moves through. And as the train moves through, she takes up a little bit of steam, a little bit of speed. And when the driver, he thinks he's safely on the other side, he shouts to the man, he says, I fooled you, I fooled you, I fooled you. I got big eyes, I got big eyes, got big eyes, I got old big eyes. And now this is where I'm going, boy. And the Rock Island Line is a mighty good road. Rock Island Line is a road to ride. Rock Island Line is a mighty good road, but if you want to get it right, I'll let you finally get your ticket at the station for the Rock Island Line. A, B, C to the X, Y, Z. The cat's in the cupboard, but you don't see me. Down the Rock Island Line, it's a mighty good road. The Rock Island Line is a road to ride. Rock Island Line is a mighty good road. But if you want to get it right, I'll let you find and get your ticket at the station for the Rock Island Line. I may be right, I may be wrong, but you're gonna miss me when I'm gone. Oh, the Rock Island Line, the mighty good road. The Rock Island Line is a road to ride. The Rock Island Line is a mighty good road. But if you want to get it right, and let you find it, take it at the station for the Rock Island Line. Rock Line is a mighty good road. Rock Line is a road to life. Rock Line is a mighty good road. Where if you want to get right, let your partner get you to get at the stage for the long island line. Wasn't that great? BS. Yes. Wasn't that a Johnny Cash number? CKM. But the original version was by Lonnie Donegan, I think. The program ends. They all shake hands. Strangers before the show. Friends after the show. The bye-byes. They exchange visiting cards, phone numbers, websites, and so on. BS looks at CKM's visiting card in astonishment, and here is what he says. Oh my God, you are CK Medder. I heard so much about you, and I know who you are, and we are relatives. Doesn't matter how distant. This indeed is a small world, not just in space, but also in time. CKM couldn't understand and asked the obvious question. I don't get it. Who are you? BS. First I'll tell you who you are, and then you can work out who I am. CKM. Go on. BS. My dear Dr. CKM, you are my dad's brother's son's wife's dad. CKM. Which means you are my daughter's husband's dad's brother's sons. Isn't that amazing? Now I come back to this man called Bhojraj Sagar, who lived in the 18th century in the state of Punjab, India. And this is a true story. All records available in a place called Hardwar in North India. Punjab is a state in northern India. Americans and Europeans may have for the first time heard about Punjab in 1958. Remember the song? Boom boody boom boody boom boody boom boody bum bum bum. Goodness gracious me, a duet by Sophia Loren and Peter Sellers. Now this man Bhojraj Sagar had a son, his name Dhanpatraj Sagar. And one of Dhanpatraj Sagar's sons was a man called Balakram Sagar. And one of Balakram Sagar's sons was a man called Sukhmal Sagar. And one of Sukhmal Sagar's sons was a man called Hiralal Sagar. Now this man, Hiralal Sagar, I don't know how many sons or daughters he had, but 3 of his sons were named Shri Ram Sagar, Nanak Chand Sagar, and Munshi Ram Sagar. We'll come back to talk about Shri Ram Sagar, but here is something about Nanak Chand Sagar. Now this man, Nanak Chand Sagar, I don't know how many sons or daughters he had, but one of his sons was a man called Kishori Lal Sagar. This gentleman called Kishori Lal Sagar decided to remove one G, and so from this point onwards the surname Sagar became Sagar. Kishori Lal Sagar, an engineer from Thomson College, Roorkee, currently IIT Roorkee, had 9 sons, and their names in descending order of age are Pyare Lal Sagar, Atmaram Sagar, Jamana Das Sagar, Rajroop Sagar, Sohanlal Sagar, Om Prakash Sagar, Ravel Chand Sagar, Karamchand Sagar, and Gyanchand Sagar. All those whose names have been mentioned so far are no more, and their souls are either resting in peace or trapped in other human bodies somewhere on the planet Earth. Of the 9 brothers listed above, the 4th in line is Rajroop Sagar. He had 2 daughters and 3 sons. The elder daughter Santosh gone to Gulatis, the younger daughter Veena gone to Puris, the elder son Prem Kumar Sagar, who is no more, and the younger one Lieutenant Colonel Vinod Sagar, retired, who lives in Bangalore. And the one in the middle is called Surendra Kumar Sagar. That's me. Surendra Kumar Sagar has 2 sons. The elder one, Kamal Sagar, owns the Total Environment Group of companies, has 3 sons, Adi Nandan Sagar, Avi Vikram Sagar, and Abhivir Sagar. The younger son, Nikhil Sagar, is an American citizen who lives and works in Seattle, was married to an American M.K. Medder. Her father was the late Dr. Clifton K. Medder, a famous doctor and writer of several books, including the best-selling Fascinoma. He lived in Nashville. As you can see, the girls unite the Sagars with the Gulatis, the Puris, the Handas, the Chaddas, the Khannas, the Kochers, the Medders, and so on. And now, as promised, I come to the gentleman called Shri Ram Sagar. Now, I do not know how many sons and daughters Shri Ram Sagar had, but one of his sons was named Kunjlal Sagar, and one of Kunjlal Sagar's sons was named Ram Prasad Sagar, and one of Ram Prasad Sagar's sons is a man called Balraj Sagar, and he is alive. He is an American citizen who lives in the US and often stays in Nashville. And finally, I go back to the Rock Island line and the 2 gentlemen in their 80s who watch the Grand Ole Opry are none other than Dr. Clifton K. Medder, CKM, and Mr. Balraj Sagar, BS. Indeed, this is a small world, not just in space, but also in time. And I'm happy to say that the common denominator between the 2 gentlemen, CKM and BS, is that they were both reading my book, Intelligent Field. And I'm happy to say that this gentleman called Balraj Sagar visited India recently, and he came to Bangalore, and he came to flat number 221 at time 2 and had dinner with us. I posted this story in part on Facebook. A friend of mine called Salim Sheikh, we have not met, asked a question. Why did Kishori Lal Sagar drop a G? In accordance with Newton's 3rd law, the plane and the seat underneath the pilot provides an equal and opposite force pushing upwards with a force of 725 N. This mechanical force provides the 1.0 G force upward proper acceleration on the pilot, even though this velocity in the upward direction does not change. In straight and level flight, lift L equals weight W. In a bank turn of 60 degrees, lift equals double the weight. L is equal to 2W. The pilot experiences 2G and a doubled weight. The steeper the bank, the greater the G forces. Does it mean that Bhojraj BR was doing steeper bank transactions than the Kishori Lals? Just kidding. I thought for some time and then I replied, Salim Sheikh, that's a good question. I'll explain. Kishori Lal Sagar was an engineer from IIT Roorkee. known as Thomson College of Engineering in his time. He was a fan of Newton and hence retained the two G's for quite some time. Later in the 1920s, when Kishorilal was in his 30s, he switched his allegiance to Einstein. He understood that in modern physics, we need to view the history of the universe physically as it happened and as it is still happening in a four-dimensional space-time, rather than in a three-dimensional space evolving with time. When Einstein became accustomed to the idea of space-time, he took it completely into his way of thinking. It became an essential part of his extension of special relativity to what is known as general relativity. In Einstein's general relativity, the space-time becomes curved and it can incorporate the phenomena of gravity into the curvature. So, Kishorilal could, if he wanted to, actually have dispensed with both the G's, but he decided to retain one G as a mark of respect for Newton. Besides, he understood quantum physics and knew that wave-particle duality was one of the central ideas of quantum physics. As per the Copenhagen interpretation of quantum physics and utilizing Bohr's idea of complementarity, he thought he was entitled to adopt the rule that we could use either a particle-like description of physical phenomena or a wave-like description, and he preferred the wave to the particle. And as soon as he thought of waves, he was reminded of the ocean. Now we all know that ocean is equal to Sagar with one G. So his mind was made up and one G had to go. And here's another short story, a really short one. Sometime in the 18th century, there lived a man called Bhojraj Sagar. If it wasn't for him, there would have been no total environment, and you would not be standing here and listening to this story. Interesting small world.